Good afternoon นะครับ everyone. I hope that all of you are fine นะครับ James is good here today. Anyone in the room 1502, 1503 in here? I'm in my office right now. Okay. My office can fit another person if anybody would like to sit here and study. That is okay นะครับ Welcome. You can just like come here too. All right นะครับ everyone. So let's continue talking about chapter 4 นะครับ So I just like set up the midterm exam day already นะครับ I'll just like please นะครับ somebody please remind me before we end the class today so that I can just like talk about that the day that we are going to have the midterm exam นะครับ Okay, soนะครับ let me share my screen. Let's talk about like what we have got on the last class นะครับ Okay, this won't be long นะครับ Let me share my screen to you again. So on the last class, we talked about the SDLC or System Development Life Cycle that we studied in the interaction design course before. So right now, because you have to just like develop your own e-commerce, SDLC is also needed. When we talk about the 5 major steps of SDLC, it comes from begin with the system analysis and planning. After that, when you get the requirement, you gather all the requirements already. We'll do the system design. After we finalize the design, we start building or developing the system. Then we follow by testing it and implement it. So for the implementation, after the post implementation, we also may need to have the maintenance as well. Now let's see. Oh, sorry. For the first one, we the best practice here. Whenever we need to have the SDLC or for the website or applications, system development life cycle, we always have the what to say feedback from the implementation to do the system analysis and planning in the next round, or sometimes we get like the feedback from the system design or system implementation to just like be for the minor change or the feedback for the system analysis and planning as the minor change, something like that. For the best practices that we should do for the system development life cycle is that the first one it is the continuous availability 99% plus everything must be just like doing continuously. You cannot say that okay, this month I do system analysis and planning, next year I'll just like do the design. It's too late because it must be the continuous process. When you do the system analysis and planning already, if you don't do the system design continuously, I mean like you wait for another quarter, another year to do, the requirement might be changed already, and then you have to go back to do the system analysis and planning once again. And if you say that you just like collect the information and then start doing it on the next year, it might be possible that your system might not be in the trend or the time that is suitable to have that e-commerce anymore. And then when you design, everyone have to know that you have to design for scalability. You can see that whenever we design anything, let's think about like when we study for programming, the programming 1, programming 2, normally we design our own program only. But whenever you just like design it as a system, for sure in the future, especially for e-commerce, you must have the plan for the scalability. Doesn't matter whether it's a scale up or scale down, depends on the situation at that time. So by the way, you have to decide for the scalability too. Next, the best practices also show us that we have to build in management and end-to-end delivery. So what does it mean for build in management? for end-to-end delivery. That means inside the system นะครับ it is not just like for selling the products but anyway products or services I mean but inside you need to have นะครับ you need to have the system นะครับ that is like used to manage for the back office for your e-commerce system as well นะครับ plan for growth นะครับ that is just like quite similar to the design for scalability that you have to also plan for it as well นะครับ the next one is design pages for high speed performance for example นะครับ some of the e-commerce platform นะครับ you may just like show the first page you may just like see lots of like products and services or introduction to your e-commerce but actually for high speed performance for example some of the users or some of the customers that they want to specific on just like a specific products that they have in mind sometimes นะครับ okay it depends นะครับ on what kind of e-commerce website or platform that you have got some of the website or some of the platform the customer can just like specifically choose for the product group or can specify the product code straight away instead of waiting for every single product to be shown on the screen first นะครับ or to just like take the long time in order to just like order the goods from you นะครับ okay for example นะครับ let me just give an easy example for you like if you are talking about the food ordering e-commerce let's say instead of choose the products นะครับ choose the food or the dish that the customer want to order you may say that okay the last recently ordered because sometimes the customer may want to just like order the same thing that they order last week okay another example internet banking if you just like go to almost all of the mobile banking นะครับ you can see that you can save for the favorite money transfer transactions suppose I say that I want to transfer the amount of money to my temporary account that I just like use it for expense นะครับ I do it every week let's say for 1,000 baht per week for this account that I have to just like go for like some petty shopping something like that the things that I do is that the e-commerce website นะครับ or e-commerce platform should be able to let the customer to save their favorite items and then when the next time comes the customer can just like tap on one button to just like fill up the account number the amount of money the things that customer can do is that they can just like edit those amounts นะครับ and then they can just like click transfer this one is quick so this is high speed performance that for an easy example like this the customer can just like redo the transaction or can just like do something นะครับ to commit to the transaction quickly or sometimes you can see that for your e-commerce นะครับ website or e-commerce platform at the very beginning you might see that when the customer would like to order something when they would like to pay the money let's say if they say that they have to pay by credit cards you have to let them fill up their credit card number all the time when they would like to commit the purchasing transaction over there so in the reality let's imagine that if you you always go to buy the products from this e-commerce website but every time that you purchase it asks you to fill up the credit card number นะครับ CVV code your name the date of expiry every time that wastes a lot of time right so what is the solution you may say that okay then the solution we keep the credit card information of the customers นะครับ inside your database by the way it might not be safe somebody said Ajahn it's not safe we shouldn't do that okay when you know that it's not safe how can you help them to become safer first one some of the businesses say that okay their business นะครับ has been linked นะครับ with the international customers then they may say that the payment instead of using the credit cards they may use PayPal or Western Union for money transfer instead. Let's say if we talk about PayPal, the PayPal users can record the credit cards or account number in their account, in their PayPal account straight away, safely, securely. So if you say that no problem with the customers, our customer can use PayPal. Most of them use PayPal because they are like most of them are international customers and they usually use PayPal. In that case, okay, you can use PayPal. Whenever customer would like to buy the product from us, you just like let them to redirect to PayPal. Then in the PayPal screen, redirection screen, you may say, okay, when customer click pay through via PayPal, you just pop up that PayPal screen and fill up the account or email address of that customer on PayPal. The things that customer has to do is that just enter the password for PayPal before they can commit their transactions. That might be one solution. Somebody said, no, our customers, normally they do not use PayPal. What should we do then? Then you should update your technology by discussing with the bank, whether the bank has any solutions for the e-commerce owner or not. Sometimes they may say that, okay, the bank can just like let you redirect to the bank's credit cards information, and you can also have just like some basic information, for example, credit card number of the users, name of the users, but the CVV code you don't save it in your platform. What will happen? If the customer would like to pay for the money, they click through the credit card, right? They may you may just have like some credit card numbers for them, but normally when you show the credit card number in the e-commerce website, normally we don't show every single digits. We may use like some marks to just like hide those credit card numbers by show XXX. Instead, you may show the first 4 digits and the last 3 digits, something like that, on your screen. If the customer confirm, you may just like have some solutions for them. The first one, to make them easily use your e-commerce platform, you may ask just CVV number. So customer may just like type their CVV number 3 digits and then it commits the transaction. Or if you say that no, Ajahn, it's not safe, we will send the OTP to the customer for the registered phone number. So after we redirect to the bank, we just like let the customer to enter the OTP to complete the transaction. That one is a choice as well for the high-speed performance. Customer can make a decision to buy the product quickly. By the way, you have to know, if you do it slowly, customer might change their mind from buying your product. If they know that, okay, there is another website or another e-commerce platform that doesn't ask them for the credit card number and information every time, they may change their mind to buy the products or services from that platform instead. Let me give you an example. I'm sure that some of you in this class used to order the products online, right? And when you order the products online, there are many delivery agents that can deliver the products for you. For example, you may have seen the Flash Express. You may see some other delivery express like Thai Post, something like that. What else? You might just like see, some delivery agent. Okay, let's say. Firstly, if you run the e-commerce for that delivery company, firstly, some of you may think, oh, I'll just like create an application นะครับ I'll create an application and let the customers of that delivery company to download and install the app first so they can enter tracking number นะครับ in that apps to show the information นะครับ the status of the delivery of the products that they have got. You can see that that is a good idea, but it doesn't work practically for everyone because you can see that sometimes you get tracking number from what document ครับ somebody take photo of the receipts นะครับ of that delivery นะครับ to you. Somebody send an SMS to you. Somebody just like send the message to your Instagram, to your Facebook Messenger นะครับ What is the thing that you have to do? You have, if you haven't used this service before, I mean like you as a customer may not use that service, but your I mean like the supplier นะครับ or the merchant use that service and it asks you to install that software into your install that apps into your mobile phone first. You can see that somebody doesn't have like much storage นะครับ on your mobile phone. So installing the application on the mobile phone นะครับ waste their storage space, waste their internet connection plan, the data plan as well, because if they are not in Bangkok, let's say, for example นะครับ if you just like go to for camping, let's say, and you order something, you want to just like get it and want them to deliver at home. Now you are at you are on the mountain, the internet connection is not quite good, so if they force you to install the application, that is not a good idea. Compare with another company นะครับ customer can have choice. First, they can install an apps and then just like type their tracking number in the apps so that they can just like see the status of the product. Also, they can sign up นะครับ for being the member or customer of that delivery company. So all the tracking history will be kept in your application's database. Another choice, if you don't want to go for installing the application, you go to a website. You can use a browser on your mobile phone screen to type that URL, and then you can just like type your tracking number over there. Then it will show up the status without installing the program. But the difference is that if you don't install the application นะครับ the information for tracking นะครับ the history for tracking will not be safe. Just that. So you can see that this is the better way for the high speed performance. Customer doesn't need to install the application if they want to just like do something as like one time and then they throw away นะครับ So that's why you have to think carefully whenever you have to develop the e-commerce platform นะครับ You need to have the design pages for high speed performance for your customer. And also นะครับ the best practice show us that okay, they understand and optimize workload on a system นะครับ For example, suppose we say that okay, normally the peak hours of our services นะครับ are during 8 a.m. นะครับ to 7 p.m. let's say. During that time, if you have a server of your own นะครับ if you let's say if you don't use cloud based, you have your own server. At that time, you know that it's a peak time for the customer to order or to just like track our delivery. You shouldn't run any job in order to consume the CPU power นะครับ and memory of the server at that time at the peak hours. So that's why you have to understand นะครับ and optimize the workload on the system too. So on the other way around, you know that nobody tracks their delivery after midnight. At that time, it should be the best time for you to run some automatic job นะครับ some batch job that you would like to process นะครับ instead of using on the daytime loading นะครับ for example นะครับ if you are talking about 7-Eleven, you can see that for 7-Eleven, they separate their servers นะครับ you can see that the servers that they use in their stores, for example, to keep the stocks and all the things นะครับ they put them in one server, but the for 7-Eleven นะครับ server that they use for just like the delivery ordering นะครับ they use another server instead. By the way, they share the database server นะครับ so that the customer when they go to then they when they go to order something, they can see the stocks of that branch นะครับ by the way นะครับ the front end for the branch that they use for just like when they have the point of sale system นะครับ the cashier at 7-Eleven, it does not นะครับ use up the memory and CPUs of the database server, so that people นะครับ or customers who would like to order online doesn't have the problem นะครับ in order to just like order the goods, even though นะครับ there are so many customers นะครับ in the stores in the physical store at 7-Eleven นะครับ. so these are just like optimizing of the workload on the system that we have to do. The next one นะครับ okay, we talk about each phase นะครับ in details in here. If you have any question, feel free to just like type the question in the chat box นะครับ so that I can just like reply to you for each part that is related to our e-commerce. The first part นะครับ that we talk about in here is system analysis and planning. This one is the recap for the things that we study from interaction design. The first thing that you have to think of is about the business objective. When you have to set up the e-commerce site or platform, you have to list all the capabilities that you want your site or your platform to have first. List all of them. Sometimes you say that, okay, the platform นะครับ or the site that you set up for e-commerce may not be able to do everything. For example นะครับ if you say that your company sell the products or services, okay, product first, okay, if it is the e-retailer, you say that, okay, you sell the products only. If the customer would like to know the track, we would like to track for the delivery status, you don't do it by yourself. We may say that, okay, we redirect to the tracking page of the delivery agent company นะครับ so this one, the capability here that you have to list out is that you redirect your page to the tracking company's page, so that you know you don't need to develop the tracking process or the status tracking in your own site นะครับ for payment, if the customer pay by credit cards, debit cards, or using some e-wallet, you may have the third person company in order to manage that kind of thing, so you don't have to develop your own payment system, you just redirect it. But in this case, you have to know that if you redirect to use their service, you have to pay the fee for them anyway. Who will be the person who is responsible for the payment? Some of the business, they absorb the fee นะครับ for their customers, while the some of the businesses, they say that, okay, the fee นะครับ the processing fee belongs to the responsibility of the customer. It depends นะครับ okay, next, system functionalities. You have to list the information system capabilities needed to achieve business objective. For example, we say that the objective of our company is to sell to show or to present the online catalog and online ordering to the customer. The system functionality needs to have just like the capabilities in order to show and update the product catalog นะครับ with the PDF version, or you have 360 like AR VR in order to let the customer to just like have a look on your products properly นะครับ that one is to achieve business objective and the customer can order the product from us straight away. Next, information requirements. This one, it means information elements that system must produce in order to achieve business objective. For example, if we say that we would like to sell the car and the car must be 360 degrees นะครับ that you can use AR VR to help. How can you get those information ครับ so you may say that okay, you have to just like you need to have the repository to store those photos and actually นะครับ the photos that you should have if you say that okay, you are car dealer นะครับ the new car dealer the things that you have to know is that can we just like use the product catalogs or website of the car manufacturer directly นะครับ or do we have to say, create our own? Normally the car manufacturing companies they need the standard, then they just like have to let every car dealer to use their website. But if you say that okay, you sell the second-hand car นะครับ the things that you have to do is that okay, if you would like to let your customers to see 360 degrees นะครับ for the car, then you need to have some of the department in your company to take photos of the car and then render it to be the 360 degrees view นะครับ something like that. So these are information requirements that we need to have in the system planning นะครับ the next one for this one นะครับ we talk about the business objective, system functionality, and information requirements for typical e-commerce site นะครับ left column is business objective, middle one is functionality, and right one is information requirements นะครับ let's see, I just give you a couple of example นะครับ if the business objective is to display goods, system functionality นะครับ is the digital catalog นะครับ displaying and information requirements นะครับ we need to have the dynamic text and graphic catalog นะครับ to be shown to the customer. If the business objective is provide product information นะครับ or content of that product, so system functionality is that we need to prepare the product database นะครับ to serve this business objective. And for the information requirements นะครับ the product database consists of product description, stocking numbers, inventory levels นะครับ the last one นะครับ in that I give you as an example is like if the business objective is to personalize or customize the product. System functionality that we must have นะครับ to respond to the business objective is the customer on-site tracking. The information requirements that we need to have are sites that are log every customer visit, data mining capability to identify common customer paths and appropriate responses นะครับ so business objective, system functionality, and information requirements must go along together, must reply to each other as well นะครับ okay, when we have this one, the next thing นะครับ for the rest of them you may read by yourself นะครับ for the corresponding business objective and system functionality and information requirements. The next one นะครับ we talk about the next phase. After we have the requirement gathering and planning already, the next phase is system design นะครับ system design in here in terms of e-commerce, we focusing on hardware and software platform that we have to just like design. You need to think about the system design spec นะครับ and plan for it and prepare for it. For the system design specification นะครับ this one is the description of main components of systems and their relationship to one another. For example, you say that okay, your system design, you would like your system to be able to run by using smartwatch, by smartphone, tablet, and the PC, let's say นะครับ so that means okay, when you say that okay, your e-commerce platform can be run on these devices differently, can be run on these devices, do they perform the same thing or not? For example นะครับ We may say that smartwatch, normally we use it for confirming the payment. For example, if we say that, okay, we develop a system to control vending machine. Like, for example, some of you may have seen like the vending machine in Thailand is called as Tao Bin, right? Tao Bin, right? It sells like the concept is just like the robotic barista, something like that. Okay, so I may say that, okay, to just like to what to say, to order, to see the status, to see where vending machine is located, you can use your smartphone to do, right? But when you would like to pay, you can use your smartphone, or you can use your smartwatch as well. For example, for any smartwatch that has NFC technology, you can tap your smartwatch with that vending machine to confirm the payment, or you can open up that application on your smartwatch and tap on the smartwatch screen to confirm the payment, something like that. This is the design that you plan. You can see that the functionality between your smartwatch and smartphone, they work differently, even though it's for the same application, that is the vending machine. Two components of system design. In this one, we need to have logical design and physical design. For logical design, normally, as we study from interaction design, we prepare the data flow diagrams, processing functions or databases, or you may just like use the UML to help. While the physical design, for physical design here, we have to specify physical software components and models, hardware that you have to use, including spec, if you can just like do that, and then just like try to just link the relationship, which part of software should be installed in what server or what computer, and also for the client side, what application that we have to design and then prepare for each device that the users need to have. Okay. The next thing, okay. Ratanon said Apple Pay. Yeah, that is one example for the payment, Apple Pay. Actually, we have like other technologies that you can do as well, because actually Samsung, they also have just like the payment that is on NFC as well. And also by having these technologies, you can put it directly in your smartphone if you set up the applications. Right. So this is the example to show you about the logical design in terms of the diagram to show for our websites. This one does not conform to the standard of data flow diagrams that we studied before, but it's the simple data flow diagrams to show the movement of the data from one entity to another entity, from one database to another database. You can see that the symbol that we use in here and the rules that we use is different from the standard data flow diagrams that we studied before. In here, you can see that for the customer database, we have the customer information sent and check for the verifying of the login, and then we may accept or reject the visitor. If they are accepted, you can display the catalog pages by retrieving the data from catalog database. And then customer will make a decision if they would like to buy or purchase a product from us. The order database will be just like retrieved so that, sorry, not retrieved, will be just like save the data that customer purchased the product from us. So from the order database here, you can see that we have to do the order fulfillment from the order that customer order, and we keep in the product in the order database. Then we need to do the order fulfillment. The products will be shipped, and then the order shipped will be confirmed, and the website customer can see นะครับ for the website customer they can also do the same thing as the customer that we have got นะครับ they can do the request นะครับ to log in นะครับ see the catalog order and then we do the shipping นะครับ these are example of the logical design for web simple website but actually นะครับ for all of you when you study for the interaction design already นะครับ the proper logical design for data flow diagrams you should use the standard of the data flow diagrams in order to prepare it นะครับ so that it is the universal standard that everybody knows นะครับ in here okay because of what if you use like this kind of simple data flow diagrams you can see that these data flow นะครับ these arrows doesn't have the name at all we don't know what is it about also you cross the line here that is not shouldn't be done too นะครับ in here by the way นะครับ for the basic things if somebody doesn't have any ideas how to write the standard the DFD would like to draw a logical design they can use this one นะครับ and as you are the computer scientist you should be able to revise this one for them นะครับ to be the proper data flow diagrams next นะครับ this is physical design example นะครับ for simple websites นะครับ you can see that in here they show us that okay for customer they can use desktop computer or laptop computer smartphone นะครับ in this one they show that okay it's Apple and BlackBerry okay obsolete already it is like smartphone I mean you may have like some smartwatch as another platform that customer can access to it as well and in this example they said cable or DSL or T1 you may add like 5G 4G นะครับ in the line in here as well and then go through the internet for this part นะครับ it's our company sites นะครับ we have the HP or Dell quad core web servers and 5 tera of storage นะครับ this is our server and we say that inside our server we have to install Oracle SQL database IBM Sphere นะครับ add server online catalog mail server and shopping cart depends on you นะครับ what database what kind of logical server that you have to put in your server you may just like prepare them for this physical design when we have this already นะครับ the next thing that we have got is in-house versus outsourcing in this one นะครับ for the outsourcing we may hire when vendors to provide services involved in building site some of you say that okay you want to build your own or sometimes some of you say that okay you have lots of things to do you know the technology but you don't have the time to do so for example นะครับ if I want to own an e-commerce website I don't write down by myself I will have to outsource other people to do it because I have like other things to do I have to just like teach my students I need to have lectures and I have research work to do so I don't have time to just like develop my own e-commerce platform then I hire someone else for example I may say that okay I might hire a company have a software house of like our alumni to just like write down the program for me or some of you who would like to be a freelancer may just like hire me in order to develop not hire me maybe hired by me in order to develop that e-commerce platform นะครับ so for build our own or outsourcing นะครับ if you would like to develop our own platform นะครับ we need to have people นะครับ in the team with the diverse skill set นะครับ choice of software tools นะครับ and also both risks and possible benefits if you remember on the last week I gave you an example that one of my friend my old colleagues that she just like was like my 20 years ago friends she opened up her Chinese traditional clinic if you remember and she was an computer engineer she designed her website and she was so proud of her website remember that So if I were her, I would hire someone to help designing the websites. For technology, if I say that, okay, I am a full-time business owner, I might develop my own website or the platform for the e-commerce, but not for about the art things like the um, designer of the artistry parts of the website. I hire somebody else instead. Okay. And also, I say that, okay, because I'm a computer scientist, I know about the technology that I have to use. But in case of implementing the server physically, for example, having the cabinets, the rack, and then install putting the blade server by myself, do the wiring. I'm not good at that one. I might mess up lots of cable. Then I better hire somebody who is a professional in doing the wiring and setting up the rack of servers for me. And then I just like install all the software by myself and config everything by myself. That one, we just like hire people with diverse skill to help. Because when the technology is coming, for example, if I say that, okay, I have to set up the private cloud for my company. I know the cloud technology. I used to use the public cloud. But now if I have to set up the private cloud, I don't know how to do that. This kind of software tools, I just hire the professional in the private cloud to install for me. That is better and it takes less time and it's more secure than I do it by myself. Next, host own or outsourcing. You may use your own server in your company, but you can see that nowadays many of us start up our business like a startup ones. You don't have the physical office. You may say that, okay, normally if I have a meeting with my what to say, co-founder of the company, I might just go to the coffee shop and then have a meeting, or I might just like conducting the meeting via Zoom, let's say. By the way, what about the server? If you don't have any space for the server, you do not set up the server at your home, because you have to know that there are a lot of things that you have to consider. The first one, space that you have to keep your server, especially if you say that your business need to use the server in the rack. So that means the server is as large as the big refrigerator, or bigger than that. It consumes the electricity power, and you have to avoid it from the heat and also moisture. So if you say that, okay, you put it in the aircon room, impossible, everyone. Because I mean, like, especially for the rainy season, you can see that on your windows. You might see it's sweating, right? That may cause electric shock for your server. And what if you have to just like build up a room to be the server room? Okay, you need to have, apart from the rooms that you have to just like dedicately for your server, you need to have the backup, not just for UPS. Sometimes you need to have some power generator too. The power generator here might be just like use the gasoline to feed the electricity power if it's starting generating the power for you. And you need to have the UPS too, because the UPS normally it backs up the first 15 minutes before the power generator is starting, something like that. So if you don't want to have your own ones, why don't we just go for web hosting or co-location? Some of the people, when you set up the business, the office space, you rent the co-working space, or co-office to share with other companies. Okay, like for example, in the CBD, I see like many buildings, they have the co-office location that you can rent that space. They have a table for you. They have an admin person in order to what to say, pick up the phone for you, send and receive the fax for you, send and receive the postal mail for you, and then you are allowed to use meeting room maybe once in a week. But if you would like to use more than once a week, you have to pay more, something like that. For sure, in that kind of office location, you cannot use, or you cannot set up your physical server. Then you have to use other choices instead. So the first option is for hosting. You just use the service provider to provide a host for you. You don't need to do anything. Just like have the hosting company to responsible for ensuring that your website is 24/7 accessible, and you pay monthly fee or yearly fee. Or if you still would like to have your own server, you can have the co-location. You purchase or you lease the web server. Um, and you just like put it at the vendor's facility. There will be the server room for you. You just leave your server over there, and then you remotely control your server. Set up everything by yourself. It depends on what way that you feel it is comfortable for you. You can use it. Next. In this example, this is just like the inside case. Let me just like skip this one. Okay. The next phase is testing, implementation, and maintenance. For this phase, testing, implementation, and maintenance. For the testing, we have like different levels of testing. Unit testing. That means each program. Each module that you write it down, you just test it. For the inputting values that you enter, whether it just like give you the intermediate value or not. After that, you have integration testing, that you integrate many units together. Whether the data has been sent from module 1 to module 2, module 2 to module 3 seamlessly or not. Next, we have the system testing that we test all together in the environment, like on the server that you set up for all modules that you pass integration test already. You have to do the system testing that when it runs in the real environment, does it work or not properly? What does it work properly or not? And then acceptance testing, this is for the user's part. Acceptance testing here means that when the users would like to use your system, is it okay for them? Is the output is what they expect or not? If it is what they expect, will they accept for the operation of the system or not? We call it as UAT, or users acceptance testing, or acceptance testing, the same thing. Okay, so we need to have all of this testing before the system can be used. After the users accept the system already, for the implementation and maintenance phase, you can implement that system into the server, hook it up to the domain name that you reserved, and then just let the users or customers to use it. When the system is launched and it start being used, the maintenance must start immediately too, because when the system is running, it is possible that there will be some errors. For example, if there's a lightning out there, it may cause the system to be just like freezing and broken. And when you restart all of the system, all of the servers, it might not work properly. For example, the database server might not be started automatically. Then this one, maintenance is ongoing. The database admin has to restart the connection of has to restart the database server and see the connection between the app server and database server whether it works properly, and then they have to see web server too, because sometimes each of the service starts but the connection doesn't work นะครับ next on benchmark maintenance cost นะครับ is similar to development cost normally นะครับ remember most of the software in the world doesn't matter whether it's a productivity software or your website or any applications that you hire other companies นะครับ or other people to develop it for the contract นะครับ after they deliver the product to you normally they come with the maintenance contract or they call it as MA contract. The maintenance contract is like whenever the system has been launched นะครับ normally for the first year maintenance is free because it's free of charge. The reason is because it is under the warranty of that implementation contract. But after it passed for a year already, they start charging you the maintenance fee นะครับ they before the 1 year warranty period finish normally it might be around 2 months before the warranty finish the company นะครับ that develop the system for you they normally send you the they have to contact you first and then they may send you the contract for the maintenance. So normally the maintenance นะครับ it is around 15% นะครับ 10 to 15% per year นะครับ 10 to 15% of from what 10 to 15% of the amount of money that you pay for the development fee ครับ for example if you say that this project for the website นะครับ application นะครับ development on what to say Android iOS and smartwatch นะครับ so that means you have like 4 different platforms นะครับ to run your e-commerce and they say that okay the price is 2 million baht so you pay นะครับ the last amount of money when they just like launch this system for you so the system is running right okay 2 million baht so if they say that the MA fee or maintenance fee is 15% that means after year 1 นะครับ that the system is launched you have to pay 300,000 baht นะครับ per year for the MA or maintenance cost for the maintenance cost นะครับ what is it for they have to update for you if if they see some problems นะครับ some loophole some security threat นะครับ that they fix for you นะครับ or there are some law that has been launched the new one for example if they say that okay in the year 2022 the duty that the government just charge you นะครับ is around like 7% 12% on this kind of product next on 2023 the government just compensate this product they give you just like fewer percentage นะครับ of this product duty let's say from 12% to be just 6% only government just pay 6% for you so it will just like be updated นะครับ for the countrywide the company who developed this system for you they have to update this system for you it is under the maintenance contract and suppose we say that in the past the system was launched in English version only but you say that actually I want it to be in Thai language as well because I would like to sell this product to customers who are Thai people too but last year this system couldn't be just like change its language but in 2024 they said that okay it is globally languages that you can change you can just like go to China and then just like switch to to Chinese language by just like having the detecting of the location นะครับ of the IP address or GPS and then the language can be just like pop up to offer you whether you want to use Chinese language or to be in English, or you want some specific language, you can choose themนะครับ that is included in the maintenance cost that they have to pay for you. Or you say that firstly I have my own server but I would like to upgrade to be cloud-based. I don't want to use my server anymore. Then you have to seeนะครับand study in the MA contract or maintenance contract whether they include upgrading from the current server to the cloud-based or not. Some of the company นะครับ they say that if you change your server นะครับ for example you are using or you share the server with other system, but next year you plan to buy a new server dedicatedly for this system only. Okay, that one they may say that they port the current system นะครับ to the new server for you for free without charging. That is included in maintenance cost นะครับ but if you say that okay this year it is on our server in the company, next year we want to port it into cloud-based. So in that case นะครับ all the infrastructure is changed. It might not be included in the maintenance cost. Then before นะครับ before the maintenance contract is sent to you, or when the first draft is sent, you have to tell them that okay next year you have planned to upgrade to the cloud-based ones. Will it be included in the maintenance contract or not? Some company they may include because they may say that they have other customers who use cloud-based นะครับ some companies นะครับ or some of their customers use the own server, something like that, so they may help you in order to just like upgrade to the cloud-based นะครับ without charging นะครับ it depends, you have to talk to them. Somebody say that okay I will just like port my system to be on cloud-based by myself. Be careful นะครับ if I know that you have ability to do, but if this system you hire somebody else's to do that, let them do. You don't do it by yourself. Otherwise นะครับ you may break that maintenance contract if you just like change it by yourself. Then just talk to them. And for the maintenance, they need to do the benchmarking as well, whether your the system that you have been using นะครับ is good or not in terms of the system performance นะครับ because otherwise if you don't do benchmarking, when the time goes by, if the system is slow down นะครับ the customers may not be satisfied with using the anymore. For example, suppose you say that the vending machine นะครับ sells the grocery products on BTS system, let's say. In the morning time, you know that people นะครับ may want to buy some salads. You can see that right now the salads that people buy, if you just like go to any coffee shops or any supermarket, I mean not supermarket, some booth, you might see that the salad in the box, right? But some of the people they want to cook their food by your own, then you want to buy salad in the plastic bags, the veggies in the plastic bags, and then you just like want to cut and watch that veggies by yourself because you have like 2 or 3 people at home that you would like to eat salad together. It's not enough if you just like buy small pack with like very expensive price. So the things that you may do is that okay on the platform level นะครับ that passengers go to take their sky train, you have the vending machines. You may say that is vending ordering machines that customer order นะครับ that customer order salad, let's say butterhead 1 bag 500 grams, red coral นะครับ 500 grams นะครับ lettuce 500 grams. So in the morning time nobody gets that veggies on the way to the office, but okay this is the ordering. So you just like specify that what time you're gonna pick up that products. If you say that, okay, from 6 p.m. onward, then the booth or the vending machine that you can pick the products is on ground floor ครับ after you exit from the BTS system already, there will be machines that once you just like tap, they just like give you those products that you order. Okay, what is benchmarking here is about? In the morning time, you have 2 minutes to order, because let's say if you say that the SkyTrain comes every 5 minutes, you say that you don't want to miss, you don't want to miss that train. So you want to finish all the transaction within 1.5 minutes at most. That is approximate time that our system can service them. So what if the first 6 months, 1.5 minutes is possible, but after 6 months, the time that a customer can order and complete their order is around 3 minutes. I'm sure that your sales will be dropped for sure. So that's why we need to benchmarking when the time goes by. So if it's slow down, you have to see what's going on, and then you have to just like fix that problem. Okay. Next, simple versus multi-tiered website architecture. In this one, we talk about the system architecture here is to arrange the software, hardware, and tasks in information system needed to achieve a specific functionality. If we say that we use 2-tier, it means that we have just web server connect to database server only. That is 2-tier. For multi-tier, you separate the server into different tiers. The front end ones is the web application servers, while the back end, we may have back end, we have legacy databases to be different servers. So this one is the multi-tier one. So you need to know and you need to design before you really use. In this example, this one shows about the basic 2-tier architecture. User requests at a web server. Web server requests the content management, the data from the content management server, and this server send the data to web server and display to the user's request. While the multi-tier, you have different layers. For the first part, the top part, we have the incoming request from the users into the web servers one. The middle tier here, we may have e-commerce server, we have app server, we have database server, app server, and mail server in the middle tier. While the back end, you have corporate applications, finance, production or MRP, material requirement planning, enterprise system, human resource system. These are back ends that are separated from the e-commerce server directly. One example that I can show you for the multi-tier e-commerce architecture is like bank, the internet banking. You can see that the internet banking, actually they separate the servers into multi-tier. You can access the internet banking through your computer, to your smartphone, to your smartphone and to your computer. So you can see that for the smartphone and your web browser on your computer use the same server to access, same web server to access. But if you go to ATM machine interface with the bank by using different servers it's different from our mobile phone or the computer that used to access. Sometimes the lagging time might be like maybe half of a second or 1 second until the data has been synchronized. By the way, the bank also have its back-end layer that is mainframe computer that just like really stored all of the data of the account owner the customer of the bank. So that means normally every night every bank needs to close or shut down their system for a while that you cannot do any services. For example นะครับ like the one that I use is SCB. Normally the time that they use for closing the system is around 11 p.m. to midnight. At that time นะครับ you may not be able to see your account balance. You may not be able to transfer the money to other account. You have to wait for an hour because at that time the system is closed. Closed, I mean like they don't shut down นะครับ You can still go to their website, but if you want to transfer the money or check the account balance, you cannot do anything. In the background, the things that does for the bank services is that middle tier layer server and back end layer servers synchronize their data นะครับ the amount of money that they check for the difference between the app servers นะครับ and the mainframe computer, that are there any transaction that has not been synchronized yet. If yes, they have to synchronize them first and then start running their batch job นะครับ After that, when midnight comes นะครับ so at the 12 a.m. then it is the time for the new day นะครับ System will be on once again. Then web servers open the linkage to the app servers นะครับ and to the mainframe computer. So you can do other transactions after that. In the past, the time that they would like to use for synchronize the data is longer than that นะครับ I think your generation might not see that one. I remember that when I was young, the ATM machine, not young, I mean like the age, same as you at that time. We didn't have many ATM machines นะครับ in the city. If you would like to withdraw the money นะครับ or transfer the money at that time, the ATM machine will be closed at 10 p.m. and reopen again at 7 a.m. in the morning. That means if you want to get some money after 10 a.m., you couldn't do that. We didn't have any applications or mobile application at that time นะครับ so that means if you're running out of money after 10 p.m. you couldn't do anything. You have to wait until 7 a.m. of another day instead นะครับ so at that time it didn't have the web server layer นะครับ they had just like the middle tier and back end that was just like 2 tier only between ATM machines and mainframe computer at that time นะครับ okay. So for the web server software, it's like Apache or IIS นะครับ that you have been using นะครับ the leading one is Apache นะครับ. The second runner-up is Microsoft IIS in here. For site management tools, for the site management tools, you may just like write your own software นะครับ that include in the web servers to verify links on the page are valid and identify orphan files นะครับ to let the owner of that website to just like eliminate that one. And the other one is third-party software for advanced management that you just like might have to purchase a third-party software like monitoring of the transactions from the customers นะครับ marketing campaign effectiveness นะครับ. The example is like Web Trends Analytics 10, Google Analytics, that you can link your website to these web management tools นะครับ site management tools to see the statistics of these kind of websites นะครับ to see incoming นะครับ and outgoing, to see just like the time that users spend นะครับ on each page, something like that. The next tool is the dynamic page generation tools. For dynamic page generation นะครับ content store in database and fetch when needed นะครับ. This one is to create, to generate the dynamic page. The common tools are like CGIS, PJSP นะครับ. And for advantages นะครับ it's enable use of content management system in here. The application server นะครับ For the application server, we have like various kind of the app server นะครับ begin with the web application server. The web app server will provide the specific business functionality that required for a website นะครับ type of middleware นะครับ the type of middleware that connects traditional corporate systems to customer. And we also have the single function applications นะครับ the single function applications being replaced by integrated software tools because otherwise you have to install various softwares into your system นะครับ the integrated software tools combine the functionality needed for e-commerce site. That means you install once and then you can manage all of the things. For the merchant server software, sometimes นะครับ some of the e-commerce websites they prepare their own merchant server software. Some of the websites นะครับ or some of the system they purchase the merchant server software to be used. What kind of software that can be called as the merchant server software? There must be the software that provide the functionality for their e-commerce or for the sales นะครับ What are the basic functionality? The first one, online catalog, show all the products with the pictures, with the specification in details or in brief นะครับ It lists product available on website. Okay, shopping cart. This functionality shopping cart is that it just like keep the products information with the quantity that customer order, with the price, maybe with the discount, maybe with the coupon นะครับ the delivery cost, some special promotion นะครับ that you can just like add it into your site when customer would like to purchase a product from you นะครับ so it allows shoppers to set aside, review, edit selections, and then make purchase. So the merchant server software, apart from just like keep this information, provide this functionality, when the customer just like leave the applications on the website, if the customer log in นะครับ they can retrieve this basket or shopping cart นะครับ that customer leave the products that they would like to have in that basket, or if the customers do not log in into your e-commerce site, they may use the cookies in order to store this data in the basket as well. The next one, payments นะครับ in this one it shows the credit card processing. It works conjunction with shopping cart because when customers choose checkouts นะครับ it just like redirect that page into the credit card processing นะครับ so that's why it said typically works with in conjunction with the shopping cart. Actually, I should say that it's a payment, not just credit card processing anymore, because right now we have more channels than just using credit cards. Some countries can use electronic wallet. Some countries can use just like the the cryptocurrency for the payment as well. It helps verifying cards and put through credit to companies' account at checkout. Many companies right now นะครับ they don't verify the card by themselves, but they just like send this request นะครับ to the payment gateway of the bank. So that means the bank will be responsible for the payment through the credit cards immediately นะครับ so you may have the question that we have tens of the banks that customer can use. Yeah, no worries. Because actually, if we say that we talk about payment gateway นะครับ even though you say that you hold the credit card of K-Bank นะครับ but the payment gateway belongs to SCB. SCB can also responsible and help finishing the process of the payment through K-Bank credit card as well นะครับ this one they work as the intermediary in order to help finishing up the payment นะครับ for the e-commerce sites. Next, we talk about the integrated environment that include most of functionality needed. So right now นะครับ many of the software they integrate all of these environment that the e-commerce site need to use. You don't need to install many software anymore, except if you would like to have some special tools in order to help analyze the behavior of the purchasing and shopping of the customer นะครับ and just want to see นะครับ the information in details. That one you might need to have a special software instead. So there are three general ranges of price and functionality for this merchant server package, software package. So right now, if you would like to have a free of charge, you can have the basic one. That's free and open source. Or you may just like want to use like some specific kind of tools for the software for the e-commerce. That is the mid-range, or some of the company needs to have their just like their tailor-made ones. It is the high-end ones. That might be just like have like lots of functionality that customers can just like use that website, and also the seller can also analyze the things from the website as well that the customer purchased. The next one, if you would like to build your own e-commerce sites, the option for small firms, you may use a hosted e-commerce site such as Yahoo's Merchant Solution, that consists of site building tools and templates for you, that you can use it for free, or for just like the non-expensive price. Or if you say that, okay, I think it's just like not varied for the Yahoo's Merchant Solutions, you may just like would like to create and add some functionalities of your own. You may use the open source merchant server softwares that can help you to build truly custom sites. By the way, for the open source merchant server software, it requires programmers with expertise and time. That, okay, all of you can do this one if you use open source one. But for the end users, if you want to suggest your friends who don't have skills in programming, you may just like suggest them for the hosted e-commerce site like Yahoo's Merchant Solutions or Google as well. They have. Okay. For the hardware platform is the next aspect that we have to think about. For the hardware platform, underlying computing equipment needed for e-commerce functionality. The right sizing your hardware platform in terms of the demand side. What do you have to think about? In this case, when you have to think about the hardware, especially for the server, you have to think of simultaneous users. Simultaneous users, you have to consider in a couple of aspects. The first one, number of users, real human users that may be able to access. Second one, users that may be the same users, but they have some accidentally quit that page before they log out. So what does it mean? I'm sure that sometimes when you are using some website or some applications, your computer is freezing. You don't intend to do that. Then the things that you have to do is to restart it, right? When you restart your computer and go to that website again, the old sessions that you used before was still in the server. That is user as well. So that means when you log in into that website again, the users number of users are counted as 2 already, and it might not be just you, it might be somebody else's as well who have the same problem. Apart from that one, process. Sometimes you don't count number of users, but you have to count number of processes. For example, if I say that, okay, I use the same user ID, but I just like do many things inside the website. For example, I order something and I also just like see the product catalog, and then I just like open up some product comparison, something like that. So number of process of this user might become as 3 or 4. That it will just like use it will use up the resource of your server as well. Then you have to think about the number of simultaneous processes as well. So you have to just like do the right sizing of the hardware platform. And if you just like if you have the expertise for the sizing, just do it. But if you don't have, you can ask the hardware vendor to help you. They can help you to tell that, okay, how do you gonna do the sizing for your hardware that you have got? How to do? Sometimes they just ask by using some questionnaire to ask you first, or sometimes during the integration system testing or system testing, they the hardware vendor install a program that programs detect the simultaneous users or simultaneous process. Or sometimes, even though the system is not launched yet, they can use simulated users to do the to use the system to check when the system is used up. It's the similar concept to the DDoS. Okay, they replicate itself to be like a user, and then just like duplicate number of users more and more and more to run on the system to see, like sometimes they do the extreme test to check whether the system can accept up to how many users or how many process, and then they'll tell you these numbers so that you can make that decision whether it is okay for the system or not, for the servers that you have or not. For example, if we say that in USC we have 3,000 students, let's say physically, we have 400 staff, so users are 3,400, right? But on the day that you register, the simultaneous user is not 3,000, more than that for sure, because if you say that every student can register on the same day, same time, you might say that 3,000 users. What about the users that I told you that, okay, some students, their computers or their smartphone is freezing and then they have to restart. That means their old user is still just like hanging in the old system. Then they have to re-log in. So it will be counted as 2 users already. What about staff and ajans have to just like go to have a look on the records of their advisees? More than 400 people for sure. Then we need to have some sizing tests to just like evaluate what is the suitable size of the hardware that you should have and how do we gonna fine tune the system. And for the right sizing your hardware platform, in terms of supply side, we have vertical scaling and horizontal scaling that you have to prepare and think ahead. For vertical scaling means that if you would like to improve the individual components, each system or each module might be bigger and bigger. That is the vertical ones. While the horizontal scaling is to share the load with more computers. For example, if you say that, okay, the server that you are using for the e-commerce was used by another system before, and now we don't have the budget to buy a new one. We want to just like use the new e-commerce platform in this server too. This is horizontal scaling. So you have to right size as well, because sometimes if you say that I see lots of hard drive space and lots of free memory in the old server. How do you know that? If you just like use the system, how do you know that if you use this server to run your real-time e-commerce system, it will not just like cracking your current server? Then you may have to think about the correct size or right size that you should have. If it is not okay, you might have to buy a new one. That means you have to buy a new one. You cannot avoid. Otherwise, you might overload it, your old system, and none of the system can work at all. In this one, we talk about the vertical and horizontal scaling techniques. For the technique that we use, a faster computer นะครับ application is to deploy edge servers, presentation server and data server to have just like a new and separated servers นะครับ to have a faster computer to just like run on like what you want. Create a cluster of computer here นะครับ we use computers in parallel in balanced load นะครับ or what we call load balancing นะครับ this one we have to use a technique in order to measure and to just like do the load balancing as well, that okay, when which task just arrive, what server that this task or this process should be sent or redirect to. Next technique is to use appliance servers. So this one we use another special purpose computer to optimize for that task. Segment workload. We segment the incoming work to specialized computer นะครับ this task for example validating the login you go to use one server, purchasing you go to another server, when we just want to just like see the catalog you go to catalog server separately นะครับ this one we segment our workload. Next is batch request. Batch requests, we combine related requests for data in groups process as group. For example, in this one, suppose we say that there are 3 users who would like to download the PDF file of the product catalog at the same time. You may say that, okay, you set the waiting time for 2 seconds. If there is any other users who would like to get the product catalog at the same time, you load it once and then you distribute to these users. Otherwise, if it's over 2 seconds already and there is nobody else who would like to request this catalog, you just download for this person only. Something like that. That is batch request. Manage connection is that we reduce connection between processes and computers to a minimum. This one requires a programming technique as well in order to reduce the connections between processes. Aggregate user data. We aggregate user data from legacy application in single data pools, or sometimes you have the cache in order to let the servers that would like to access this data to access from the pool instead. And cache here, we store it frequently use data in cache rather than on disk. We put them in the memory so that the accessing time from the memory is faster than using on the disk. Okay, but right now, if all of the servers, if the servers use SSD memory, the time is faster. By the way, the technique for caching is still used in the real life anyway, right? Okay, so I think I'll stop at the vertical and horizontal techniques. On the next class, I'll go to talk more about the architecture improvements that we may be able to use in order to help speed up and optimizing our servers. Okay, up to this point, do you have any question, anyone, for the technique that we use in order to just like improve and optimize our hardware? Okay, if you don't have any questions now let's talk about our midterm exam. Our midterm examination will be from chapter 1 to chapter 5. Now we are on chapter 4, right? Okay, so that means on chapter 4, next class we will finish it. And I just like let you do the case study with your group. Also, I'll let you do the what to say, chapter 5 open case as well. Okay, I think we do let me do the chapter 5 open case. I assign it to you today so that on next class on Wednesday we can have just like the oral presentation for chapter 5 open case. Okay, so for the chapter 5 open case นะครับ okay let me just open it for you นะครับ this one this is the open case cyber war math 2.0 นะครับ so the things that I would like you to do นะครับ for this one is just to summarize the the case for me นะครับ the case for me and then I just like ask around like 3 of you to help just like recapping summarizing this case for me on Wednesday we are going to do it so please read ahead นะครับ you don't need to submit anything for this case but on this coming Wednesday I'll just like randomly ask you to help นะครับ telling us what did you read about the cyber war case นะครับ this one now Ratanon asked me that what is the format of midterm our midterm examination นะครับ our midterm examination will be case study ครับ or midterm it will be case study that I just like give you นะครับ the information for the case study and I might ask you for some aspect or ask you for some limitations of this website or in this case how they're going to improve it something like that นะครับ it will be 2 cases นะครับ that we are going to analyze so when will be the midterm exam นะครับ let me just like show you the calendar นะครับ I also remind you in the line group as well ครับ let's have a look ครับ okay so I set up the examination day นะครับ to be Wednesday the 15th นะครับ Wednesday the 15th of May sorry of June sorry Wednesday the 15th of June in class นะครับ from 12 to 11 sorry 12 to 1:50 p.m. นะครับ we do it in class so that means everyone just like log into Zoom and then just like do it while you have to turn on the camera นะครับ and then no communication you can turn off the microphone but turn on the speaker นะครับ because if I have some correction or if I have any announcement I will just I will let you know นะครับ if you turn off your speaker you not hear me นะครับ 15 นะครับ of June in the class time so that means if we finish module number 5 before exam day นะครับ I'll continue with module 6 and 7 นะครับ okay right okay then นะครับ everyone before we finish the class today up to this point do you have any questions ครับ